All right, what's up, everyone? It's Andy Mills here. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe on this video if you enjoy the content and build that I'm about to make for you guys. All right, so this is the second Druid build that I seen a lot of, and I think it actually does synergize very well. Didn't try this build, but I wanted to bring it to your guys' attention. So pretty much this is the leveling build for Druids. So this build is pretty much focused on rushing the story, rushing dungeons by yourself on world tier 1. And it's all about getting up close and personal, just doing a lot of damage in close range, and having a lot of sustain. So creating barriers, creating generating spirit, generating HP, things like that. There are a lot of things that I found similar in the last build that I kind of created myself, that I can see the meta forming pretty much, like the things that are standard on each Druid build that you want to go, if you want to, reach the optimals, if you will. So I'm going to walk through the leveling process with you guys here, and then I'll have the link of the full build in the description below, to pretty much show like where you want to allocate stuff throughout the levels. All right, so for the first two skills, you're going to put into Storm Strike. That's going to be your go-to. Next, you're going to put into Pulverize, which is shapeshift into a werebear and slam the ground, dealing 50% damage to surrounding enemies. Yeah, so like I said, getting up close and personal, dealing close range damage. So first 2 points there, you put point here, you're at level 5. Once you get this, you're going to put 1 point into enhanced Pulverize, so your next Pulverize will overpower every 12 seconds while you remain healthy, and healthy is over 80%. If you have HP over 80%. So that's where the generating HP is pretty useful later on in the build. All right, at level 7, you want to come back up here and get this first, or these first 2 modifiers for your basic ability. So 1 point in here to get your immobilization, and then Storm Strike can change to 2 additional enemies. So that's good DPS right there when you get up close and personal, when you don't have any spirit left for this. All right, once you're at level 8, you can come down here, activate your Bloodhound. This is where you're going to start generating HP and spirit for every time you use it. So you're going to put the first 2 modifiers. This is something that I had in my other build that I said that it basically is the meta, and I can see them changing this in the future. Maybe just adjusting the numbers. But anyway, so you shapeshift into a werewolf and howl and healing yourself for 20% of your maximum health. With this one, every kill reduces the kill down by 1 second. So the more you kill, the faster you get this back up, the faster you heal. And then you want to do this one, so you're generating spirit now, exactly like I had in my last build. Now you're at level 11. You're going to come back up to Pulverize, put 2 more points into Pulverize. And then you're going to move on to your summons, if you will, or companions. I think they call them, yeah, companions for this, for Druids. And this Poison Creeper is a pretty it's actually a good ability, and it basically just roots people in place. So it has a passive here, but the active is Vine strangle all around surrounding enemies, immobilizing them for 2 seconds and poisoning them for 90% of the damage over 2 seconds. The poisoning is not really what you're looking for. You're looking for that immobilization. That's a good debuff to apply, and things start synergizing later on. But keeping them in place and things like that. And then there's a passive. Anytime you have a companion, if you have it on your skill bar, it then activates the passive. So a Poison Creeper periodically emerges from the ground every 7 seconds and applies poison damage over 6 seconds. Again, that's not really, it's whatever. There's abilities that you can, or modifiers that you can do to make it stronger, but that's not really what you're looking for. So you're going to put 1 into this, and then 1 into Wolves. So now you have 2 companions at this point in the game, but you'll drop 1 of them later on. It's just to have more DPS. It'll summon 2 wolves as companions that bite enemies for 8% damage. And then activate, you direct the wolves to focus on enemies. So it's just nice to have extra damage at lower levels in your build. All right, so after that, you're going to go Clarity. So gain 2 spirit when transforming into human form. And that's great because you have a lot of abilities that transform you. So you have werewolf over here, and then you have your werebear. So anytime you come out of your werebear or your werewolf forms, you get 2 spirits. So it's just a good generation skill. Get it all the way up to 6. Now you'll be at 18 at this point. And then you want to go back up and max out your pulverize. All right. Then at this point, you'll drop the wolves according to the build that I got here. And then you'll start putting points into trample. And this is going to be another big damage. And it's going to be putting you into a shape-shifting form as well. So it kind of synergizes with this, or it does synergize, not kind of. You're going to do trample. You're going to do an advanced trample or enhanced trample, which deals more damage. And trample is like a charge, so you run through them, so you become unstoppable and charge forward, dealing damage and knocking back enemies. Enemies who are knocked back into terrain take an additional damage and are stunned. That really doesn't matter right now, but you know, in a dungeon that can be kind of useful. So you're just buffing up that damage at this point. You're gonna go back up here and get this barrier. This is building up that sustainability for yourself later on in the game. You're gonna put that 1 point into that. You're gonna go back over to your poison creeper and make 2 modifications. So you're gonna do an enhanced poison creeper, so the duration is increased by 1 for the immobilization, and then the ferocity poison or voracious poison creeper activates poison duration is increased by 3 seconds. So it's a little bit more damage over time. But I don't know. Poison, any kind of dots in this game is kind of weak at the moment. Maybe there's like legendary aspects that really buff dots, but at base game, from Server Slam and from the beta test, dots were very, very weak and not really something you should go, but that's just my opinion. All right, so where were we? And then we're going to go over here to trample again, and you're going to do natural trample. So casting trample grants 20% base life as fortify, and fortify is kind of just like temporary life, if you will. You're going to put into that, again, making you more sustainable and tanky. You're going to go back up here. At this point, you're going to do enhanced bulwark. Man, I'm destroying this word. Makes you unstoppable. Again, you don't want to be CC'd and things like that. And then we're going to go over to quick shift. I always forget where this one is. I think it's right here. Yeah, there it is. And then you're going to max out quick shift. And when shape-shifting skills transform you into a different form, it deals 5% increased damage, which is obviously great with a build where you're really using a lot of different transformation skills. So max that out. We're going to go to Defiance, which is right here. Natural magic deals 4% increased damage to elites. I think this is just like trying to spend points at this point. That's what I think. We're going to put 1 point there, and then we're going to get up to natural disaster, and then the earth skills and storm skills, that's what you're kind of looking for this one, right? No, you use it. Yeah, you're looking for this one. Sorry. I was looking at the list over here. And then you're going to max out resonance. So nature magic skills deal 2% increased damage, triple the bonus of earth skills and storm skills. This was in my last build that I showed because it just works so well. Like triple the bonus of this damage at max, it's 28, or not 28, it's 18% increased damage when you're switching between a storm skill and an earth skill. And then you're going to drop down to, where's this one? I always forget where this one is. Forgive me, it's Heart of the Wild. I think it's back up here. There it is. Maximum spirit increase, 1 Heart of the Wild, and you're going to do Wild Impulse for 3. To get your core skills cost 9% more spirit, but it deals 15% more damage, which is great. This damage is pretty much going to be like your go-to for a lot of the game, especially at this late in the game. All right. Where are we? And then we're going to do Preserving Bulwark. Just more fortify, which is always good to be more tanky with this build. And then Raging Pulverize, which is right here. Yep. Enemies overpowered by Pulverize are stunned. So there you go. You get a stun now. And then Predatory Instinct. Where's Predatory Instinct? There's so many different things on this. There we go. So critical strike chance against close enemies is increased. So we're gonna max predatory instinct out. So close range is basically anything it's anything within melee range. So anytime you use this, it's increasing this damage. It's increasing this damage. No, not that damage. Increasing this damage over here. Whereas Iron Fur is your next ability or passive that you'll be putting points into, and that's just going to give you more sustain once I find it. So now you're going to get damage reduction, which is always important later in the game. Damage reduction is it's such an important skill for any kind of tank, or it's an important skill for everybody, but for tanks especially because of the nature of the defense it gives you. And then we're gonna go down to heightened sense. Again, by the time you get to like over 30, you're really just trying to look for these optimization skills you're putting into passives, things like that. Excuse me. I just had dinner, so excuse me for burping. Where was I? Natural disaster. I'll find it, I promise. Or will I? Am I ever gonna find this thing? Apparently not. Oh, it's this one. So you put 1, 2. There you go. So Earth skills have 12% increased damage to vulnerability or vulnerable enemies, and then Storm skills to stun, immobilize, and knock back creatures. I'm gonna go over here to Crushing Earth once I find it, if I do. Oh, and then we're gonna get this strength right here. So gain 20% additional maximum life while in werebear form in 3 seconds after leaving werebear form. While healthy, deal 30% increased damage. So all that sustain that this build has um, is great because it's keeping you healthy, which is over 80% of your maximum health. And if you're over that percentage, you deal increased damage. So staying healthy is very important in this build. All right. Crushing Earth, like I said before, we're going to do 1 into this, and then we're going to put 3 into Stone Guard. So when you're fortified over 50% of your maximum health, maximum life, your Earth skills deal increased damage. We want that. And then neurotoxin, that's to pretty much slow down and poison enemies. You're gonna put 1 point into that, and then we're gonna go over to envenom. So like I said, there's abilities to buff poison. There's a lot more like poison builds in here, and I think it's like with the werewolf form. Yeah, it's poisonous damage right here, rabies and stuff like that. But um, yeah, so this is just good like dot while you're doing your trample and things of that nature. You're getting in there and then you're pressing polarize and you're just destroying things. And the last thing you're going to put into is defiance, if I can ever find it, which is, oh yeah, this right here. And then it's just increasing all your damage, your nature magic skills, and that gets you pretty much to the end. So you max it right here, and then oh, I must have accidentally not put like max on something. I think it was this one. Yeah, no, I know which one it is. I'm sorry. You want to put, I think it was 2 points. It's in trample. Yeah, so you can get additional damage here. Yeah, so I lost 1 point on the way there, but this is pretty much the build, and it's a good up close build, tanky build. It's good for leveling, going in somewhere, just rushing world tier 1. It's about getting to max level, and then you can refund all your points, and then kind of make your own build, theory craft from there with a druid. The last thing I didn't cover is let me see, is the spirit boons. That's right. And what you want to go here is it's almost exactly like I did for my last build because it's looking like these boons are pretty much OP compared to others. So take 10% reduced damage from elites, that's always good. The 30% critical strike damage increase, that's great. The 5% increased critical strike chance, that's great. And then again, the 45, 10% of your maximum health when you use a defensive skill, that's great. And then you would also be going for every 10th kill will cause your next earth skill to overpower, which is also very useful. And then in the end, the skills that you would be using are going to be the creeper, Trample, Bloodhowl. That's pretty much like a staple of any Druid build that I'm seeing out there. The barrier, that's kind of gonna be the staple of every build that has a barrier in it. For every class, every build, you're gonna want a barrier or any kind of sustain. So those things are gonna stay. It looks like the Storm Strike is pretty much the go-to for any Druid build at this point. And the last thing you'll have is where is it? It's the Pulverize, which is going to be your bread and butter for main DPS. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know if you guys have any other questions or want to see builds for any other classes. I'm going to start with a Sorcerer and then going into building a Druid with my character to get ready for Season 1. As you can see in the timer, I am less than 24 hours from the release of the early access beta or early access period. Very excited. I can literally only think about playing Diablo 4. But that being said, appreciate y'all. Hope you have a good rest of your day. If you like this build, let me know. If you want to see some other builds, I can theory craft or do some research online. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed it, remember, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be live on Twitch tomorrow playing this game as soon as I can at twitch.tv/AndyMills. Thank you guys. Peace out. Bye.